All right, I know what you're thinking. Chris, why does the tagline for this video and your thumbnail call this a sweet spot car? And that's a good question, and we're gonna go over that today. That's what this video is all about, is this sweet spot car. Every car is not a sweet spot car. This one falls into that category, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it and show it off. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please make sure you hit that subscribe and notification button to stay up to date on the newest inventory that I have and what we're working on in the background. If you're returning to the channel, you're already subscribing, welcome back. I know I communicate with a lot of you. I appreciate everything all you guys do. You guys are the lifeblood of the channel. You know I appreciate it. Back to the sweet spot part. So when I look at cars to buy for my customers or for myself, sweet spot cars is where everything kind of aligns, and meaning ownership history, overall condition, mileage, color combination, price point. Putting all those things together where everything kind of falls into that right sweet spot is where we're at with this car. So today I'm excited to talk about that. And today we're showcasing a 2014 200 series .2 LX570. This is a one owner car, going back to the sweet spot thing, one owner car. It's been in Southern California since new, a suburb of Los Angeles, Torrance, California. Been there since new. Has fantastic dealer maintained service history, and color combination wise is probably one of my most sought after requests, and that being black on tan, black on ivory, however you want to describe that. So on top of that, we have the mileage on this car, which is just over 126,000 miles. So, you know, the mileage is good. The ownership history, it's a one owner car. The service history is fantastic on this car. As a matter of fact, I believe at 90,000 miles, this thing had the 90K service done. Both differentials were flushed, transmission was flushed, transfer case was flushed, radiator was flushed, and then everything else they do at the 90K. So this car does have really, really good service history and has been well maintained. And also the fuel pump recall, which is common on these 5.7s, doesn't necessarily have to be a Lexus or an LX or a Land Cruiser. It can be anything with a 5.7. That has also been done. So nothing to worry about as far as that goes. I have not experienced the fuel pump failure, but I do understand that if it does fail, obviously, you're sitting on the side of the road, and that is not a common thing to be happening on a Toyota product. So anyway, all of that is done, and nothing to worry about there. So again, this car is going to be priced really well, all things considered. We'll talk about the price, you know, here towards the end of the video. But I just wanted to talk really about the sweet spot. I know a lot of you are looking kind of in that mid-30s range, and that's where this car is going to be priced at. Last thing I think I would say before we spin this around and show off what I got, this car is a luxury package car, so it does have factory rear DVD entertainment. There is no DVD remote in the car. So I want to put that out in the beginning of this video, number one, so I don't forget, and number two, so it's fresh on everybody's mind. It does have two headsets that come with the car. They're in the car currently, but no DVD remote. So let me show you what else comes with it, and we'll hop out in the warehouse. So here's the Bible, the owner's manuals, everything that comes with it. As you see, got two remote key fobs, original key fobs here, so that's always nice, and a full set of books. So let's pause this, head out to the warehouse, and see what we got. All right, and here we are with the sweet spot car, and it looks fantastic. It came out really, really nice. We've got a lot invested in this as far as time and just reconditioning that we had to do to the car. You know, it came in great condition. There was nothing really major wrong with it. It's a black car with 126,000 miles on it. most people don't take care of their cars the way I personally want my cars taken care of. And so, you know, in order to kind of get it back to that point, it requires time and money and effort. And so here is the finished product. So a couple things we'll start off with here in the warehouse. Number one, this car does show a minor accident to the right rear back here. And the bumper itself was scraped right in this area, and it kind of scraped up onto the quarter panel. That's not acceptable for me. So I sent this to Mickey, who is my painter, for those of you who don't know, and he's a wizard. And so we had him do the whole rear bumper again, had him pull it off, do the rear bumper, and then I had him fix the minor scratches here on the edge of the quarter panel and paint the quarter panel. And, you know, in my experience, over 20 years, there's not a better guy you want painting any car, but specifically black. He is very, very good with black, and it turned out fantastic. I'm going to zoom in here in just a minute on that for you guys. Also, while it was there, these wheels were starting to show signs where people had sprayed degreaser or wheel acid or things of that nature on the car, or on the wheel, I should say. And for those of you who don't know, this is a special effect color. So when they paint these wheels from the factory, they paint a black base coat before they spray the special effect to create that kind of gray look to the wheel. Problem is, when you do that, when you spray the wrong product on the wheel, it's going to cause the wheel to burn. It's going to burn a streak into the wheel. I'm sure some of you have seen that. These were really bad. So I had Mickey paint all four wheels as well. And he has a fantastic match on that special effects and did a great job. So I'll walk in here a little bit closer. This will be better seen outside once we get outside. But really look at the reflection of the 4Runner in the background. And look, we don't have any waviness. We don't have any splotchy, you know, weird looking texture, things like that. I mean, it looks, and this whole panel, the whole thing has been painted. You can't just paint the section back here. You got to paint the whole part. So all of this has been redone. Look how nice everything looks. Not a better looking color than black when it's done right. Look how nice the wheels look. I mean, they literally look brand new. So that's what you're going to get with us. Indifferent to a lot of other resellers out there, you know, we specialize in a lot of this. For those of you who don't know, 200s and 100s specifically. And, you know, I know how to get them where they look almost new again. And that's where we're at with this one. There's no exception here. And it turned out really, really nice. And somebody's going to get a really nice car here. So let's start with our monitors. We are going to check our engine monitors to make sure that this car will pass emissions in all 50 states. We're going to do a cold start real quick. And there we are, nice and cold. Miles are 126,616. No lights on other than the seatbelt, door open, park assist, and headlights. So let's plug our scanner up and we will check our monitors. All right, so there you go. We've got 9 monitors. Those green dots represent one monitor, and these are all, for the most part, going to be related to the emission system. As you can see, we don't have any stored codes or anything in the system of the vehicle. So this car is ready to pass emissions in all 50 states, and we have no underlying issues. always a good thing to start out with. So one thing I'll show off here real quick are the lights. 2014 was the first year of LED fog lights on the 200 series, which is cool. The 2013s, for whatever reason, did not get that. Only 2014 and newer do have that. So at least now you don't have an odd halogen light with LED and HID bulbs. So everything kind of looks nice and matches. I can't stand when the lights don't match. There's no point in having, in my opinion, HIDs or LED lights if you're not going to have them all the way around. So all of our lights are working. Our running lights right here, low beams, fog lights, all work on both sides. Let me fire up the high bright, the halogen high brights, as I was just saying that. So as we know, fog lights turn off when high beams come on, and Lexus did not put LED high beams in until the 2016 first year of the .3s. But everything works as it should here. It just looks stupid because it's got halogen high bulbs with LED or HID headlight bulbs. All right, so coming to the rear, left tail light looking good. Right tail light, excuse me, looking good. And we got two LED tag lights with our old Hilson tag. I'm just now realizing this. I have no idea why that's on there. That's our old tag from many years ago, or our old logo, I should say. So left blinker. We got a blinker up front, we got a blinker in our mirror, and we got a blinker in the back. Right blinker. Working good. You can see the blinker on the mirror. And a blinker in the headlights. So everything looks good there. So let's show off the active height control. All right, so as you can see there, we are in the neutral setting for the active height control. We are just going to bump this up, and we're going to wait for the car to go solid where it's flashing high. Once it's in the high position, it's going to say high and it's not going to be flashing. And we'll take a look at the undercarriage while it's in the high position as well. So there we go. Let's hop out. Whoa. And there it is in the high position. Ready to go off-road. Although I would not want to take one of these this clean off-road right now. I'd want it to rain a couple times before I did. So, CV axle, power steering rack, all look great. How nice our skid plate looks. Factory stamp on the skid plate. No rust at all on this car, as you would expect from a Southern California car. That is why you buy from Southern California. CV axle, power steering rack looks great. All the shiny stuff that you're seeing here on the sway bar, that's all from detail. Same thing there on the lower control arm. There's no getting around that. If you want your fender wells sprayed looking nice, that's what you're gonna get. Uh-oh, a little bit of mud. Look how nice everything looks under here. I mean, looks fantastic.
always pick the side of the muffler. So, this wheel has been down at some point. And the tire does show some wear. So I would assume that this has been down on the ground, obviously. Look how nice that rear axle looks, the rear sway bar. I mean, zero rust. The bones on this car are to die for. That's why you pay up for a California car. These are all things that not only you want as an owner, but you want to be able to sell that when you go to sell this car, if it is something, in fact, that you're going to sell at some point. So let's drop her down to the low setting. And again, we will just tap this twice, 1, 2, and we will fall into the low setting. Literally fall, it's what it feels like when you're sitting in the car. There we go. We are on the bump stops. Whoa. And there you go. Sitting in the low setting, it reminds me of the Land Cruiser that they went like 240 miles an hour. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that video, but it's pretty interesting. All right, and we will go back up to neutral. Just bump up one time. And there we are in the neutral position. So we are back in the driving position. This is where the car is going to sit anytime you're driving it. It's never going to sit in the low or high position. Once you get over 10 miles an hour, the car will level itself out back to this position. But active height control is cool because, like, when you come to a stop, if you come to an abrupt stop specifically, you'll feel the car alter itself to always keep itself in this neutral position. So enough of that. Let's pull it outside and let's show this thing off because it is nice. All right, guys. So here we are outside with the 570, and we'll start under the hood. Try to beat this shade that's creeping over the building. There's a great shot of the hood. Look how nice it looks. We'll go over that in just a second. Really not much to see under here, obviously, with all the armor. Nice and quiet 5.7. All of our hood pad and factory stickers all intact. Everything looks nice there. Nothing to talk about there. So, on the front of the vehicle, as I mentioned with the quarter panel that we had painted, 126,000 mile car, 10 years old, black car. You can't expect it to look new, obviously, when I bought it. So, me being the OCD person that I am, I wanted to go ahead and kind of clean everything up and get it back up to the level where I'm comfortable selling it. So just for, you know, road rash, rock damage, bug damage, things like that, I had Mickey, while we had it there, go ahead and paint the whole front bumper, had him paint the hood as well. So everything up front is fresh. And on a black car, when it's fresh, man, it looks good. So really there's nothing to say about the front of the vehicle up here. We will obviously go over it and show off everything. Look how nice everything on the front bumper looks here. Look at the reflection. And what you want to be looking for is weird looking texture, waviness, and you can clearly see how perfect everything looks. So again, I know you guys have heard me talk about him in my videos. Mickey, my painter, who I've known for 20 years. He is by far the best painter that I have ever seen. Look at the hood. I'm not even sure that this video will do it justice. So there's no touch up, there's no nothing on the front of this car. Everything just got painted, everything is fresh. Look how nice all that looks. Look at the reflection of the building in the hood. Look how nice that bumper looks right there. So I can't overstate the overall condition of this car and how nice it looks and how nice it came out. Look at that. So again, no touch up on the front of the car. Everything just got painted. It's all fresh, so nothing to really talk about there. The grille, actually we'll start over here with this headlight. Our headlights are in great shape. We don't have any peeling, any cracking, any odd things going on. You might see some smear marks here. This is just from wax and it's humid, so you're gonna see that. As you can see, they're gone. But the headlight looks great. No cracking, no peeling, no nothing going on there. Everything looks fine. So our grill, our plastic grill, you are seeing some signs of some fading on the very top part of the grill, which is normal. And it seems to really be isolated to this center section of the grill and the top bar itself. So this car does not have the laser guided cruise control. That's why we have just a standard emblem, which I prefer. And our front facing camera all looks good. Passenger headlight, much like the driver's side, really nothing to talk about here. No cracking, no fading, no peeling. This car is in fantastic overall condition. Can't overstate that enough for a black car to look like this car does. Look at the side of that car. You always hear people say black looks good when it's clean. This is a prime time example of that. Genuinely not much to say about this car, condition wise. I'll try to pick out some things that I can nitpick, but there's not a lot of touch up on this car to begin with, and again, the panels that we spoke about that have already been painted. Now, I did have him go ahead and paint this fender as well. A lot of times the fender will share the same damage, especially right in this area. So that was done. However, at detail, they scratched this little small spot right here. So that had to be touched up. Other than that, that's all you're gonna see on the fender. As far as touch-up goes. So driver's wheel, again, as I spoke on in the warehouse, these wheels were also done. Mickey has a great match for this special effects color, and he did a great job with it. Now, there is one small spot right up here that he did not want to repair just because it was so close to the tire. he wanted the tire off. We don't have a way to do that because he works out of his house. So other than that, the wheel is perfect. Kind of disappointing, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Do have a set of really tall Latitudes. They're not new, but they're still in very good condition. And this car drives fantastic, so I can't overstate enough how nice this car is. Look at our step bar down here, our lower part of the door where the rocker is. Everything looks just fantastic. Look at that. Rear wheel, driver's side. This wheel does not have anything going on with it. It just got painted as well, so these wheels look brand new. Nothing to say here on this rear wheel. Same thing condition wise with our Latitude back here. It's not a new tire, but it doesn't need to be replaced anytime soon. Plenty of life left there. Obviously there's no dents in this car. We had all those, Cameron worked all those out. Here's our mirror. Do have a little spot right here that's been touched up. A few little spots in and around the mirror you can see here clearly. And that's a good representation of what the front of the car looked like. So it's not like it had to be painted, but I wanted it painted. And I knew what the outcome would be. Again, we got some smearing going on here from the humidity. It's just wax, but our pillar itself looks great. There's a great shot of the rail. We don't have any dents or anything on the rail. That's a great spot to look for hail damage on cars, is up here on this rail. A lot of guys will not repair the rails. You can see how perfect ours is. And the roof itself is in great shape. Crossbars are intact. No damage. Everything looks really nice up here and the way that it should. So this rear bumper, which I think I mentioned in the warehouse, has been painted. So there's really not much to talk about. This looks like the rest of the car overall condition wise. And I'm going to spin the car around here in just a second to get the other side. Great spot of our lower gate. As we know, we can oftentimes get damage here on the bottom part of this door. Everything looks perfect. Look how nice everything looks. Same thing with our upper. Taillights are all in great condition. No cracks, no damage, no nothing there. Spoiler alert. That was stupid. Rear GPS antenna all looks good. Spoiler's in great shape. No damage, no scratching, nothing going on here. All of our inner workings here look fantastic. Plastic's not all messed up. We don't have a bunch of gouging going on here, which oftentimes you will see. Do have some minor staining, we'll call it, that is right here. It's extremely minor. It probably looks worse on the video than it does in person. but that is there. Our little plastic trim right here that likes to get gouged up and messed up. All looks really good. And underneath looks even better. We've got all our factory seam seal right here on the edges. Let me show that off right here and right here. That's going to run all the way down the door itself. And as you see, it's nice and flat all the way to the edge and moving up the side of the door. Everything looks great there. All of our hinges and our bolts look perfect. We don't have any rust. Obviously, this car is 100% rust free, being from California. And everything looks really nice in here. There's our factory spot welds running up our jams. Fender bolts are still painted, never been turned. Fender bolts, gate bolts, I should have said. Factory spot welds, as you see, coming down the quarter panel. And everything looks great in the way that it should there. No complaints. Our factory Lexus mat looks great. Little fraying going on here. I probably could have touched that up with a little razor blade, but not a huge deal. You got one little spot right here on this carpet. Well, I take that back, and two. These two spots right here. Other than that, the carpet back here is in great shape. And nothing to write home about. Look at all our plastic here on the sides and the bottom of the third row seats. Everything is looking really nice. Our seat belt that's tucked in over here is in great shape. The back of the middle row seats, we don't have a bunch of denting or indentions going on our foam back here that drive me crazy. Everything looks really nice. Same thing with this side of the third row seat. Everything looks great. Our seat belt's really clean. So let's show the operation off. And we will get these pulled up. So middle row for the third row headrest is intact and where it's supposed to be. Back of the seats look really nice. Headrests come up the way they should. I probably should have put that mat down, but I'm just going to do this for right now. So we do have our storage with our little net for those of you who might want to use that. And over here we do have our toolkit per the usual. The toolkit pictures will be on the website, so you'll be able to see that the toolkit is intact. I'm not going to open it now. And we do have our jack back there, so no issues with being able to change the tire. All right, so let me spin this thing around. I'm gonna stop the video, spin this thing around. We'll do the other side of the outside. All right, so passenger side time. And I just walked around the front of it again. Guys, I can't overstate how nice this car is. Again, as I stated, you'll see a minor damage accident on the Carfax. It was really isolated to this part of the bumper right here. And there was some scratches on the bottom part of the quarter panel. I probably could have left it, but that's just not me. I'm not gonna do that. Look how nice outside everything looks. So you wanna make sure that the texture from the quarter panel matches the texture to the door. Being that this is black, you can do what's called panel paint it, meaning if this were pearl white, yes, you would paint the quarter panel, but you would have to blend that paint into the door so that it would match. That's how you would correctly do it. Black, you don't have to do that. So a good way to tell bad paint work is following texture or trash from panel to panel. So because the door hasn't been painted, let's make sure that the quarter panel and the door texture, and texture meaning coarseness, waviness, things like that, all look good. I'm gonna walk real slow. Look how nice that looks. I'm telling you guys, I can't overstate. Look how nice the texture is panel to panel. I mean, it's perfect. And that's what's really good about Mickey, my painter. He can do that with his clear gun, not the base coat, but with his clear coat, he can replicate texture from panel to panel, which is crazy. A lot of guys can't do that. Most guys can't do that. And that's really what sets him apart. But again, bumper's been painted, quarter panel's been painted, so you're not gonna see any touch-up. Very minimal touch-up on this car to begin with. And I can't overstate, if you want a black LX or Land Cruiser, this might be the one you want to consider, because you have a great starting point where all these panels have just been painted, and so you can properly maintain it as time goes on to maintain the way that it looks. At least, I mean, maybe some of you don't care. I do. I'm way too OCD to own black, but I could own this car because of how everything is fresh, and I could maintain it where it wouldn't get you know, destroyed by environmental things as time goes on. There's a great shot of the quarter panel that was repaired. It looks perfect. Coming up to the rail. Look how nice the rail looks. Again, that's a common spot for hail damage, and rails are a structural part of the car. So they can be very tricky to get dents out of, and you can't get a tool up in here to work them out. You have to glue pull them. So you have to get hot glue, literally, put it on the dent, and they have a plastic pull that you attach to it and just rip it off. And that will pull the dent up and flat again. But as you see, really nothing to worry about over here. And again, very, very minimal touch-up on this car. Our step bar is perfect. Our lower rocker down here is perfect. Bottom of the doors looks fantastic. Look how nice the side of this car looks. I cannot overstate how good this car turned out. I'm so very happy with it. Black always makes me nervous. This thing came out beautifully. It's the only way to describe it. Okay, let me get this smear off. Do have a few, this fender has not been painted. Do have a few little touch-up spots, very, very minor here on the front. Common for this little spot. And these have all been touched up. Try to walk down the side of the car and make sure I don't miss anything. But I looked and looked and looked, and there's just not a lot to talk about as far as touch-up goes. So you want a car with minimal touch-up on it that's just kind of been repainted, not the whole car, but the panels that needed to be done, this is your car. So right rear wheel, again, all these wheels were just painted. This car looks as close to new as you're going to be able to get. Wheels are in great shape. We have no wheel locks, which is perfect. And we have our latitudes. Coming up to this front wheel. Nothing to talk about. Looks brand new because it just got repaired and painted. Latitudes are in great shape. Let's see, passenger side mirror. A few little touch-up spots in and around the edges right there. You can see how my finger smeared. You can see those spots pretty clearly there. Other than that, Mirrors in great shape. We don't have any cracking going on here on our turn signal. And our camera looks great. Pop up on the roof from this angle. Again, not really anything to talk about up here. So you can see we're losing shade. So let's get this interior done. Door edges look fantastic. You do have a previous repair that was done right here in this area. Doesn't look terrible, but there was some kind of repair that was done there. Other than that, the door panel looks great. We don't have any scuffing going on down here. Obviously, these light color interiors are susceptible to that, but overall, this car's condition is top notch. I'm really pleased the way this car turned out. Our door pull looks perfect. No scratches, no nothing going on there. Jam all looks nice. Our outer rocker right there looks perfect. Silver trim looks good. Two little minor dents here, which is fairly common to see on these, but side of the carpet, everything right here looks awesome. Seat plastic looks awesome. Look at our lumbar and the bottom of this seat. The reason you want semi-aniline on the luxury package cars that have the semi-aniline leather is this leather holds up really well on these 200s. As you can see, this seat doesn't show a lot of wear to begin with, but that's always a good thing with that semi-aniline leather. Seat does go forward, does come back, and does recline, and it does come back up to me. Side of our console over here where the seat belt can slide, everything looks beautiful over here. Same thing with the side of our console. The leather here all looks great. We don't have any chipping or anything going on up here. Our wood's in fantastic condition. Same thing with the glove box door. Here's our books. That's all that's in there. Sun visor does come down and does work as it should. All right, so we're gonna keep moving. Actually, I forgot to pull this mat up. Carpet underneath looks great. Get that situated here in a minute. So our door edge over here looks great. No previous repair. Factory sticker, had to fold the seat, all intact. Look how nice the bottom of the door panel looks. We don't have a bunch of scuffing going on. There's your factory headset. Again, no DVD remote, as stated in the beginning of the video, but we do have our headsets. How nice everything looks up here. One owner cars are the way to go. Oftentimes, this is the result. People wonder why you want to pay up for a one owner car. This is a great example of that. Look how nice our jam, our outer kick plate, our aluminum piece. So this seat does slide forward, and then it does come back. Look how nice it looks. How nice our seat belts are. These seat belts are nearly impossible to get clean if they're not maintained properly. Let me show off the front one. But you don't have anything to worry about here on this car because these seat belts are in fantastic condition, as you can see. Back of our passenger seat is perfect. This is the same material that's on the back of the third row, so it gets dented up and chewed up really easily. Looks really nice. There's our passenger side DVD. I already did the rear window. I think I'm kind of all over the place. I'm trying to beat this sun, and so there you go. You get to see it again. All right, so third row seats. We do have our normal indentions going on from our seat belts, as you see there. Other than that, typically, as they all look on 200s, these seats look new. We'll go ahead and show the carpet under this middle row. Everything looks nice. I'll have to fix this after the video, but that's just to hold the seat up if you want them folded up. The rest of the seat looks great. Let's do this. Carpet underneath. Really nice. No staining, no nothing going on there. So here's our rear console, and we got our rear air and audio. Everything works as it should here. We can toggle through our modes. We can turn our fan speed up. Heated seats. Volume buttons are intact. We don't have any tears. Our door does open and close as it should. And we got our 12 volt down here. So everything looks great here. No issues with our rear console. Armrest is in fantastic shape, as you can see. We'll get to that in just a minute. Try to pull this armrest down while I'm sitting here. So middle armrest, as we stated, that's where the DVD remote normally is, but as you see, it's missing. And our rear cup holder. All works as it should. All right. See if I can do this without having to move. Yeah. Door edge is perfect over here. Nothing to complain about. Same thing with the bottom part. We don't have any scuffing. Very little wear back here in the rear of this car. It doesn't show much at all. There's our headset for the driver's side. Door pull looks great. No scratching, no scuffing, no nothing going on. All of our wood looks really nice. So one thing I will point out here, whoever owned this car put like, I don't know, 20-25% tint over the factory tint on the rear only. You can see something has scratched the tint. Got a couple spots. I'm trying to get it. Maybe that's a better shot. Here, 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 here. I didn't want to take it off because you got to take all of it off, and the rest of the tint looks fine. It's pretty minor, and you can't see it from the outside. So to me, I didn't want to mess with it. I just felt like I'd leave it for the next owner to make a decision on what they want to do. Very minor little deal there, though. Look how nice our kick plate and our aluminum is here. Same thing with our step here to get into the third row. Everything looks awesome. This seat does slide forward, does slide back. Look how nice our seat belt looks. Same thing with our middle section seat belt. Everything looks great. again, this car shows very little wear. Shot of the third row from this side. And we will lift this bad boy up. Carpet underneath the left rear seat. Looks really nice. I'm gonna have to fix that rope again, as I stated, but that's no big deal. Back of our driver's seat, DVD looks good. No damage, no cracking, no nothing going on here. One thing I will point out, there is a plastic cover that's on national back order. You can see the one over here. This was broken. It's on national back order. So I did not have them order it because there was no ETA on it. Very, very little minor detail, but just FYI. Driver's side door panel looks really nice. We do have one little repair here that was done at some point. Other than that, everything looks really, really nice here. If you want to say there's some minor scuffing on the speaker cover right there, very, very minor. But other than that, everything looks great with this driver's door panel. Everything looks fantastic up here. Our door pull, look how nice all the leather looks. Wood's in fantastic shape. We don't have any cracking or lifting or anything going on there, so that all looks really nice. Same thing over here. Outer kick plate looks great. Our aluminum looks great. We don't have any denting or anything going on. Carpet is in fantastic shape. You know, this is a common wear area right here. Sometimes you'll see holes there, but we don't have anything to worry about here. Seat plastic is in fantastic shape. Seat does come forward, does come back, and it does recline, and it does come back up. I'm going to go ahead and venture to say a woman or a very, very light person, weight-wise, drove this car. Look how nice the side of our console looks, not scratched up. It's a bugaboo for me. It drives me crazy when it is. Our leather, the side of our leather dash looks awesome. All the knee pad area all looks really nice. So let me hop in. Actually, let me pull this mat up real quick. Do have some minor staining going on just from where feet rest, and you can see that's why oftentimes you'll get a hole there. But you know, other than that, this looks probably way worse on this video than it does in person. No holes, no major staining, no nothing going on. It does have a new set of mats, so that's always nice. As stated, our console lid is perfect, and we can slide both sides forward. These are common to fail. When you do, you have to buy the whole lid, and these lids are not cheap. So our cool box does work as it should. Nice and cold already. AC's got to be on. I'm sure you can hear that. Everything looks great on the console. All our silver trim, none of it is faded, or you know, none of it has any scratching going on. It looks really, really nice. Our typical slow cup holder door does open, which is normal, and our cup holder divider is intact and working. So again, all of this is common to see just wear on, and everything looks great. Look how nice our shift knob looks. Shift knob's not peeling or anything. The wood's all in really, really nice shape. Whoa. Cigarette lighter, never been touched. The odor in this car is very neutral, smells like an LX. These things have a specific smell, and this one smells like that. Cooled seat is on. Heated seat is on. Cooled seat is on. Heated seat is on. Everything looks great here. Radio does work. I drove this car. Obviously, I don't want to get copyrighted here by YouTube, so I will confirm that the radio works as it should. It does toggle through all of the different sources. Here's a little volume for you.
Into their building as soon as possible to get those.
So you can clearly hear that all that works. All of our features as far as moving all of our base and whatnot up, all of that works. The beep is off if you're wondering. So this is how, there's our Bluetooth audio, and we can get back over here to rear. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. So the rear DVD is now off. And we will head back to AM. Let me see if I can catch a... Nope, that one's got music. I think this is talk radio.
With elections.
Yep, so that's all you guys get right there. But no issues with the radio, so don't sweat that. Backup camera. There's your flags. If you can't park it between those flags, you don't need to be driving it. Here is our front-facing camera and the right side. As you can see, that is showing you what you're looking at. And there you have it. Navigation, or at least the map itself. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see, everything works there. Yeah, we know. And we can go to climate control. And we'll make sure 4-zone is on. That way you control the whole car. Or I mean off, excuse me. That way you control the whole car. It's already ice cold. Hopefully you can hear these changes. Nothing to worry about there. Our front defrost does work. Rear does work. And our temperature does change. As you see, you can watch at the let me get back over here. Actually, sorry. So we will go back to audio, and then there's our temperature changing. As you see, we're going to bump it back down to low, and then we will hit climate again. So we are good to go there. Destination for your navigation, all this works as it should. I'm not going to go through all that because it's time consuming. I know most of you are going to use your phone anyway. Already went through that. Already went through that. info. Same thing with the rest. You have all your different apps where you can set up different presets and whatnot. And then you have your setup where you can go through all your general settings. You can turn the beat back on, change your colors, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. Again, I'm not going to go through all this right now, but it all works as it should. So, the sunroof is popped up, and I just put it down, and we're going to go ahead and one-touch it open. And we will one-touch it close. So everything looks great there. Look how nice our steering wheel looks. All of our leather looks great. The wood is in perfect condition. We don't have any scarring or scratching or anything that you can oftentimes see from people wearing rings and whatnot. All of our buttons, this is kind of a rubbery finish. Everything looks fantastic all the way around. No peeling going on here in our Lexus emblem. So everything looks great on the steering wheel. Steering wheel does come up, does come back down, does come out to me, does go back in. Blinkers left, right, and we'll turn on the hazards. Honk. Oops, sorry, that guy thought I was honking at him. Our park assist, our front and rear park assist, you can see it's on right now. You see the green P. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it back on, so you know all that works as it should. Windshield wipers, I'm not going to spray, but they do work as they should. Power folding mirrors. Both of our mirrors are out. We're going to fold them in, and we'll fold them back out. And we will move the right mirror down, out, up, and back in. Driver's side, out, down, up, back in. And then I'm going to go ahead and get it back in a good position. Heated steering wheel. AFS, which this is for your headlights, your automatic swiveling headlights at night. You want to leave that on. Same thing with your traction control. And then that's your automatic open for the rear liftgate, which we will go ahead and do. Check it out in the mirror. Or actually here. And now we'll close it. All right, so we don't have any issues there. One other thing I missed, our auxiliary and 12-volt door does work, does stay closed, and everything is intact under there. So let me throw my seatbelt on. We're gonna go for a quick ride. First, we will engage 4 low. As you can see, we are just in 4 high right now, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and switch into neutral, and we're going to bump down to low. And there you go. We are in 4 low. As you can see, there's the multi-terrain select screen right here. And I can toggle through the different settings as you see. However I want to get to them. We're not going to start initiating all of them, but all of that works as it should. So as you see, we're still in neutral. We're going to go back to 4 high. And there we are. So let's take off. Put my glasses on, and as usual, guys, we're going to be listening for any kind of unusual noise, drivetrain noise, wheel bearing noise. We're going to be checking the steering wheel for excessive shake, brake rotor shake. You know, just we want to check the drivability of the car. So that's what we're going to do here. But again, I have driven this car maybe 100 miles or so, and the car drives great, and there's not any issues there. So hopefully we don't get stuck behind too much traffic, and we can get this over with fairly quickly. Sorry for the glare. It is early morning and the sun is still not high in the sky, so how nice and straight our steering wheel is. We don't have any shake. I mean, I'm having to keep it in the lane, but hands off the steering wheel, zero shake. That's why you buy Michelins, keep them balanced and rotated. We're gonna get on the brakes here. Watch the steering wheel. Nice and straight, it's not moving. Obviously I had to move it there. But the brakes feel fantastic on this car, and the service history backs that up. I know the brakes were done somewhere around 105, I think, if I remember correctly. But no wheel bearing noise, no differential noise. Steering wheel is, other than me running over the hands off the steering wheel, we're going to get on the brakes here. Watch the wheel. Zero movement. No brake rotor issue, no drivetrain noise, no wheel bearing noise. Everything checks out really nice on this car. You know, and that's the importance of having that detailed service history, is to feel confident that not only the car's been maintained properly, but that the things that were needed to be done at certain intervals were done. And this car really checks the bill, or checks the box, I should say. All right, so we'll do a couple last things, as always, as I like to do in my videos. And we will check for factory remote start, and we will also check the door lock actuators. Now, so for the door lock actuators, as we all know, you can't check the door handles, or actually, let me back up. On 4Runners, for example, that are not keyless start, you can lock them, and then you can walk around the car and pull the door handles and make sure all the door handles are locked. If any of them open when the car is locked, then you know you've got a bad door lock actuator. You can't do that on a keyless entry car, but what you can do, or a keyless start car, but what you can do is lock it, and if you get that beep feedback, then you know all the doors are locked. So we're going to listen for that. And we got it. So we don't have any actuators that need to be done, so everything is good there. Now, to check for the factory remote start, we're going to hit the lock button 3 times, and we're going to hold it on the 3rd time. And this does not have factory remote start, which in my opinion is good. If you want remote start, do an aftermarket one. That way, when you open the car or unlock it, it's not going to turn off. So, but that concludes the video here for this 2014 200 Series .2 LX570. Again, guys, this car does have just over 126,000 miles on it and is in extremely good condition. I can't overstate that enough, and I hope this video did a good job representing that. This thing will be on the website, hilsonluxury.com, here in the next 24 hours or so, once I get the video all cropped together. And if anybody wants to reach out, feel free. Chris at hilsonluxury.com, or you can reach me anytime at 678-454-6060.